welcome to Talking Good Gaming's match preview of the Europa Conference League semi-final. West Ham United against AZ Alkmaar. Gonzo, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm getting very used to having a semi at this time of the year. You know, it happened last year. It's happened again now. So yeah, I'm feeling really good about it, mate. Two each year, actually.
No blue pill semi. Good for you.
No,
well done.
That's an achievement
natural,
my friend. Au natural.
At that age, that's an achievement.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm excited, and I'll be honest with you. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous. The nerves are starting to creep in a little bit. I was watching the Premier League games yesterday. While they weren't ideal for us, watching Everton smash Brighton, I was pretty like, well, whatever. I still think we're safe. Maybe I'm being a bit naive in that sense, but I was fine. I was able to enjoy the Premier League for once, and then sort of this morning I woke up and I've got excitement for Thursday, but the nerves are starting to creep in. It just feels like a huge occasion, and it feels like the whole season hinges on this competition now, but also I think the whole summer hinges on this competition. I think next season hinges on this competition. We could have European football. We might not have European football. A lot relies on the next 180 minutes of football and then possibly the final in Prague, which will mould a lot of the short-term and possible long-term future of West Ham, actually. There's a potential sale of the club coming up. Will European football impact that? We don't know. Probably not, but you just never know, do you? So, huge occasion, huge game. Let's discuss it, and we'll start with our opponents. Do you know much about AZ Alkmaar?
A little bit. Know a couple of the players. I swatted up on the league 3 weeks ago when we were linked with one of the managers over there, Arne Slot, I think his name was. Slot, something like that. It was doing really, really well. Sort of romping home in the league, and West Ham were linked with him. So we had a little look at the league there. They're decent. Obviously, you become aware of these teams, and you have a little cursory glance, don't you? Because you think who we're going to play next. So obviously, I was aware of what was going on with Anderlecht. They've got a stake. Yeah, they're doing well. I think they're fourth in the Eredivisie, I think.
They are. Yeah.
Okay. So, mate, and I think they've just had a draw with Ajax, actually, which is no mean feat at all. They're going to be no pushovers at all.
They've actually got a really good record against the top clubs in the Netherlands. They've got a really good record against Ajax, Feyenoord, and PSV. It's quite impressive, actually. I'm a bit of like a plastic when it comes to Dutch football. I probably watch 8 games a season, 10 games a season at the most. And it's always Ajax or PSV. It's the only two teams I watch. I am a plastic when it comes to it. So in terms of Alkmaar, couldn't tell you anything about them. I think I watched a couple of games last season. They've still got the same manager who is English, but I don't know anything about them. I remember they played 4-3-3 last season. Their fullbacks were very involved, but
that's one of their star. That's their star player is a fullback, which is Kirkez. Sort of tipped for the top, tipped to go and play at the big clubs. So that's what they think his next move is highly likely to be, as one of the fullbacks at one of the big clubs. I think he's Hungarian, Bulgarian, should know really. But he's something Aryan. Anyway, very, very good. I think he might even be. Did I read somewhere he might be suspended for?
He is suspended for
this particular game. But very good, very, very good. Fast, extremely fast actually, and can play on either fullback position as well. Be a name that people would recognise, which is Jordi Classy. You might remember from Southampton, who was, funny enough, he was meant to be the next big thing, and it never really happened for him, actually. He really was tipped to be one of the outstanding young Dutch footballs. It never really happened. I mean, he sort of played out most of his career. I think he's in his 30s now, played out most of his career either in Belgium or in Holland. It didn't really sort of go on to play for a lot of big Italian clubs who were interested at the time. But they're a decent team, Geo. They are not going to be a pushover at all, and they've certainly deserved their place. And they romped home in the quarterfinal and earned themselves a couple of semis.
Matt Ryan as well, you'll recognise him, the former Brighton goalkeeper, Australian keeper, who had the weirdest low move in Premier League history when he went to Arsenal for a little bit. But Matt Ryan is AZ's keeper as well. But don't worry, because later on this evening, possibly when you're watching this, I'll be sitting down with a Dutch football podcast to get the insight into Alkmaar, so that'll be up tomorrow. So you want to know a little bit more about our Dutch opponents on Thursday night, tune back into Hammers Chat tomorrow evening, where I'll be getting a lowdown on AZ, the players to look out for, the formation they'll play, what tactics they'll play, what's their strengths, what their weaknesses. I'll be asking all the questions because I know nothing. It'll be a dummy's guide to AZ Alkmaar. Now, right, before we go any further, we've got to promote 2 events. First of all, we've got the home leg event, which is the Hammers Chat Boats. It's completely free to attend, but you must grab a ticket. So you fancy going to the Boats, which is situated on the canal behind the Billy Bond stand before the game on Thursday, please get your ticket, but also bring a couple of coins because there's a cash donation bucket at the gate with all proceeds going to the Iron Supporting Food Bank. And then the second event is for next Thursday, the away leg. It is a West Ham fan park in Hackney Wick at the Colour Factory. You can get your tickets below. The link is in the description below as well. So pin comments of this video. It's got 600 capacity. So it'll be the best place to be if you're a West Ham fan and you're not at the game. You're not in the away end. This is the next place to be. Football on the big screen at the Colour Factory. It's capped, so you need to get your ticket, but there's an early bird special. So if you grab your ticket before the first leg, you'll get a little bit cheaper than you will do on Friday. And apparently, just a rumour, but apparently, if you're a Hammers Chat patron, you get a discount. I'm not saying it's true, but if you're a patron, I would log into Patreon, and you might find a discount for the fan park next Thursday. So there you go. Get yourself along. If you're not going to the Netherlands, please do head to the fan park, join lots of other West Ham fans, and hopefully celebrate West Ham winning. And well, that'll be a bloody good atmosphere and good evening if we make it to the final.
Well, if you can't get there, get down there. You know
so would you like to discuss West Ham now, Gonzo?
Yes, please.
Team news first of all. There'll be no Kurt Zouma. There's hope that he might make the second leg, but certainly for the first leg, he will not be available. There'll be no Gianluca Scamacca as always. And Soufal at this point feels unlikely. There's no official update yet. But as always, the day before a European tie, there's an open training session. So tomorrow, the journalists will be at the training ground to see exactly who is out there for West Ham. So we'll find out for sure tomorrow if Soufal's involved in training or not, and if there's any other absentees. Gonzo, I think this actually could be the easiest team we've had to do in a long time. The team we want to see.
I agree. I'd love to go to that open training session.
Why?
Why? That'd be great, wouldn't it? Go down the training ground.
I'd be bored.
Would you?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, I'd like
listen, it's an open training session. They're not going to do tactics, are they? They're not.
I don't care. Nice to see the players. Take me West Ham pencil case, get a player to sign it or something.
You don't get to meet them. You get to observe from a distance.
I'd wait. I'd linger with my pencil case and my pen, my Sharpie. Yeah.
That won't get any unnecessary attention, will it?
I don't care. Who would care? I'd have a West Ham signed pencil case with Areola. Nice to see you before he leaves.
I think maybe that's how we got him to sign.
That's right.
Sign it. Got it. Contract.
You're here. You're not going to play. Just signed on for 6 years. Unlucky.
Cup keeper. You just agreed. Yeah. Got you. Je detest West Ham. Right.
Oh no! Oh, bilingual. Nice.
That's as far as I can go.
Oh, I like it. That's good. Yeah.
I did some French in school. That's about it.
Clearly.
Right. Anyway, your keeper for Thursday night. Who would you like to see?
Well, I'd like to see Areola because he's going to sign me pencil case. Yeah, Areola in goal. Reward the loyalty for the cup keeper.
Don't get it. Don't get it at all.
Wait, I just explained it to you. You can not agree, but you do get it. No, he's played there all season.
I don't get why you'd want to see.
Because I think his distribution's better as well. I don't think there's a lot in it in terms of shot stopping. He's a better distributor. Bring oh no, there won't be penalties for that anyway. So yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Fabianski's the number one keeper. You start it's a semi-final. You start your strongest 11, and if David Moyes thinks Fabianski's the number one, which he clearly does, he should be starting on Thursday.
He probably will. Thought it was my team.
I hope he does.
Why are you changing the rules? You're switching on a switcheroo. You turned French, and now you've done a switcheroo. You said I've got to pick my team. Now you're telling me what I should be picking and what David Moyes will pick.
I wish I knew swear words in French right now. I'll tell you that.
You've changed.
Two baguette nosher.
Oh yeah, it's not a full baguette; it's just a small little semi-baguette, basically.
I just don't get it. I don't get why you play a cup keeper in the semi-final. It's 2 series. You play your strongest 11. You wouldn't do it with an outfielder. You wouldn't say,
I prefer him, Geo. That's why I'm picking him. I prefer him. I think he's a better goalkeeper.
Fabianski for me. You could probably have noticed.
I do, yeah, major point.
I think he should start. I think he had a brilliant game against Man United as well. He's got a good understanding, and in fact, this will be interesting. Then, who's your centre backs?
Who's my centre backs?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I might have to stick Fabianski in there. He was so offended. I'll go with. I'm not going to change anything. I'm not changing a thing, mate. Well, I'm sorry. It's going to be the worst. Well, I haven't changed the thing. I'm changing the goalkeeper. It's going to be the worst build-up show ever because I wouldn't change the team at all. I think everybody. I just wouldn't change it around. I wouldn't change it around. I don't want to change formation. So I didn't feel it was going to work beforehand. And the Gerd being at right centre back, it sort of worked. I thought Kehrer deserves, even if Soufal is back. Here's a question: what would you do if Soufal was back? Even if Soufal's back, I would keep Kehrer there.
Would you?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'd have Soufal straight back in. I think post World Cup, he's been one of our most consistent players, and his shirt wasn't up for grabs. Soufal only didn't play against Man United due to an injury. His space wasn't there to be claimed. Now, Kehler's done a really good job, but I know what your next question is. I would still play Kehrer. It would just be what I think is his best position, which is right centre back. He'd go next to Soufal. And then you've got the big call of, do you then drop a Gerd or a Bona? And if he's going to play Areola and goal, and this is my problem with your team, every game Areola plays with a Gerd, they argue. They do.
Us two on this video.
We never argue.
It's the French thing. We didn't argue before you started speaking French, and then Areola goes and goes, speaks French. It's an argumentative language.
So you don't like French people? Is that what you're saying?
That's right. Yeah, or baguettes.
you
limp ones.
Don't like frogs' legs? No.
No, can't. Yeah, or toads and amphibians, just generally. Yeah.
But Areola. I'm sorry, everyone. Welcome to the preview. We
don't know a lot about either team, basically, and we want to keep the same West Ham team pretty much. We don't know anything about AZ Alkmaar.
Well, this was supposed to be the most straightforward team you'd like to see, and it's turned out to be the most argumentative one of the season somehow.
You're in a bad mood.
I'm in an excited mood, actually. Hence
nerves. You said you were nervous. I can tell it's getting to you.
Yeah, but I just think Areola and Agerd I don't trust them. I don't trust that as a partnership. There's always miscommunication. There's always hesitation between the two of them, and it ends up with them arguing with one another. Now, Agerd has done it with Fabianski. Bournemouth away when 1-4-0, they had that, and then Declan Rice scored his goal and had to give Agerd a rollicking in the corner during the celebration. Say, mate, you cannot, what you doing? That's just what Fabianski does. Get your head in the game kind of thing. But I just, no. So I would go Soufal right back if fit, but if not, I'd keep it unchanged. And then do you know something? I'd probably play a Bona over a Gerd, which I never thought I'd say. But
so, what formation are you going with?
Oh, the same one, 4 at the back. But you said if Soufal was fit, what would I do? I'd say Soufal, Kehrer, Ogbonna, and then Creswell. But assuming he's not fit, I'd keep it unchanged.
I'm assuming he's not fit. But I can see a little sneaky one. Doing a build-up show and all the rest of it, and then you find out that Soufal's playing. I can see that happening.
We'll find out tomorrow with the open training session.
When does he smirk? We will. I'm going down. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going down there.
Unless they hide him in the cupboard or something when the rest of them are out.
I'll probably find him. It's probably the stationery cupboard, and I'm going to get me Sharpie.
Well, there you go. You can see if he'll sign your pencil case for you as well. Well, midfield 3 then: Declan Rice, Thomas Souček, and Lucas Paqueta.
Yes,
and then Bowen, Antonio, and Benrahma as the front 3.
And thoroughly deserved from Benrahma, by the way. I thought he'd been in patchy form. Obviously, played well against Man United. So, yeah, those are the best 3 options. There's no doubt about that at all. And I'm hopeful that they've had a restful period. With being a home game. I think that's really helped as well. We haven't had to travel to and from Manchester, so. That's really good. They could have gone home after the game on Sunday, which obviously was a late kickoff for a Sunday, but they could have just gone straight home. Whatever Moyes would have done, maybe Monday off or whatever, I don't know, but he would have been able to rest them. So I'm quite hopeful for it, mate. Particularly people like Antonio, who's just, as you mentioned, is just so crucial and pivotal to how we play at the moment as well. Bowen is going to be really, really important in this game. I do hope his finds some way to get the best out of him and get him properly firing again from an attacking perspective. Clearly, he's nothing wrong with his work rate, but really getting involved in the attacks again, you know?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think, not that Benrahma's lucky per se, but I think he's been in, you say patchy form, I think he's been in poor form for a few weeks and then had a decent game against Man United, got the goal. I mean, yeah, okay, the keeper makes an error, but he's still going to be buzzing off it. Benrahma's still going to feel a bit more confident because he scored the winning goal against Man United, and the changing room after the game would have been sort of party mode to some extent, thinking, thank God we've done it. You could see the emotion in the players after the game. Benrahma's the one that scored the goal that allowed them to do that, so he'll have a confidence boost. And I say fortunate. Had he not played that against Man U, I think he would have still started on Thursday, but he'd be fortunate that there's nobody that's done anything to take his spot. Fernald's had a opportunity and didn't do anything with it. Cornet's not had an opportunity, but because of that lack of chance, you can't then play Cornet over him in this game. In the Premier League, you can, certainly, but not in the semi-final. You have to go tried and tested. You have to go with your most trusted 11 on the night that you know will not let you down. And yeah, okay, some of them let him down 12 months ago in the Europa League, but you've got to go with the players you trust. And arguably, that's what's got us out of the relegation battle in the last month or so, going back to the players that he knows and he trusts to go out there and do a job for him, kind of thing. I think set pieces will be key for us on Thursday. I think Creswell in the team, Bowen is capable of hitting in a good one. I think Kerr's free kicks are actually quite good as well when he's taking them from sort of 40 yards out. From deep,
yeah.
I don't mind his free kicks, actually. So we've got that set piece, actually. But anyway, AZ Alkmaar, while we don't know enough about them, we also knew very little about Ghent and Larnaca. It does feel like the toughest test yet, though. Not just because it's a semi-final, but in terms of the opposition.
Yeah, I mean, look what they did to Anderlecht. I think it's all very well looking at how they did against Ajax and other teams. But as a barometer, Anderlecht is a good one because we played Anderlecht. So that gives us something. And I think it was 4-1 on aggregate, quite possibly. So they've done well. They have done well there. I don't want to, I don't want to over egg it too much because then we played Arsenal recently. Man U, they're not as good as Arsenal and Manchester United. They're not, but they are going to be a good team, and they're not going to roll over and have their tummy tickled. And I certainly think this first leg is going to be crucially important because we can't rely on going there and getting anything. I didn't know that as an English coach when you said it.
I'm pretty sure they do. Hopefully I've not got that wrong. I think his name's Jansen. I think his name is. He's from London. I'm pretty sure, and he never played professional football.
Jensen, you say his name is.
I can't remember his first name.
I mean, it's easy to get confused, isn't it, when you've got a name like that? Jensen.
I'm trying to think of his.
They call him JJ.
It's not Paul. For some reason, Paul Jansen's coming to my head. But I don't think it's right. But I don't think I'm too far off. If it's
whatever particular permutation of Jensen he's going to know English football. So he's not going to. We're not.
You're wrong about the quarter final. I thought you were, but I didn't want to say anything. I'm just looked. It went to penalties. They got beat 2-0 in the first leg, and then they won 2-0 in the second leg, and it went to pens, and Alkmaar won
against Anderlecht.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to thrash. Oh, right. Sorry, I thought I steamrolled them. We're going to thrash them then. Easy victory for West Ham, 3-0.
It does feel
Semi's getting better.
It does
give me that information.
It does feel like the toughest test to me, and a draw against Ajax isn't the worst result to come off the back of into this semi-final. They've still got something to play for in the league, which may help us in between ties where they've got I think they're playing Emin, who are down the bottom. They're not very good, so I expect them to win that one. But they're probably going to have to field their strongest 11 because they're only a couple of points behind Ajax. They can leapfrog them into they still enter the Conference League. Whether they finish third or fourth, they do go into the Conference League, but they just skip around, that's all. Instead of going in the qualifiers, they go into the playoff, which is what West Ham entered for this season, because nobody automatically qualifies for the group stage. Everybody goes into the playoff round at best. So there's still an important game for them there. It just feels like the toughest one. It just feels like they've got a bit more pedigree than anyone else would come up against. They've got some individual. I'm sure they'll have individual players that can cause us damage. I've seen some people say, watch out for him and watch out for him, but I don't know enough about them, so I'm not willing to repeat that. I'm just looking forward to speaking to the guy tomorrow to find out about it. But I think that's why I'm nervous for this one, Gonzo. It's the fear of the unknown to some extent. Now with Larnaca, there's only so much I can worry about them because of the league they're in, because of the lack of, I say history, the lack of doing anything substantial in the past 2 years. I look at it, I think there's nothing here. What am I worried about, kind of thing? Whereas with Alkmaar, I'm getting a bit jittery. You know, earlier on the season, Alkmaar were top of the league, I'm pretty sure. When we were going through the group stage, they were having a really good season. So it's got me a little bit nervous. Are you confident?
Yeah, I am. I'm confident, yes. Yeah, I think there's got to be some value in getting to semi-final last season. I think there's a lot of the squad have got that experience now. Even people like, well, I was going to use Emerson's not a great example because actually he has done better than that with other clubs. Anyway, but I was going to say with the Olympic Lyonnais last season, even Paqueta and Emerson, you know, were in the got into the quarterfinals, so that they've got experience at that as well.
Emerson could be the first ever player to win the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Europa Conference League.
Yeah, amazing.
Mourinho was the first manager to do it, and Emerson could be the first player to do it.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be amazing. It'd be an amazing achievement if he manages that. So, and you never know, he might Cresswell might get his usual red card, and he might find himself on the pitch anyway. So, he might be in luck with that one. So he might get to play in the final if we make it. Yeah, I am confident though. I am confident. They are. It sort of goes back to this whole: are you going to allow yourself to be confident or not? And there'll always be comments. There'll be comments in the Dewberry WhatsApp below, which say, "Well, hold on, you're underestimating." You know, I don't. I think they are going to be the toughest test. I don't think you're underestimating them, but goes back. It reminds me of listening to TalkSport. I think it was before England played, possibly Croatia, something like that. I was going to say in the summer, it wasn't a bloody summer, was it? In the winter, and somebody phoned up and said, "I think I'm confident England are going to win this." And it was, I think I might have this completely wrong. I might have the team wrong, but I've definitely got it. And it was in the quarterfinals or something like that, whenever it was, knockout round. And Gabby Agbonlahor said, "That's dangerous. That's dangerous talk." The guy had phoned up, so I think England can win this. That's dangerous talk. Or, you know, that's not dangerous talk. You're a bloody talk radio station. You need people to phone up and talk. That's your business. You know, and it says, I understand the superstition. There's a lot of superstition around at the moment. People are afraid to say that. But I'm feeling confident. I am feeling confident. I don't think we will underestimate them. I think we're a good team. I think we've probably got better. Well, not probably. I don't even then. I'm sort of trying to curtail my language. We do have better players than them. There's no way that they have a player as good as Declan Rice. They just don't. They don't have a player as good as Lucas Paqueta. The rest, their best player, as I think, when you speak to the fan later on, maybe he'll confirm or deny that. But I'm pretty sure if he's not their best player, Kirkes will be one of their best players. He's not available. We've been relieved of the burden of the worry of Premier League. And again, I mean, I had somebody on today's video comment saying, "Hold on a second, you shouldn't be saying that West Ham are safe." And I mean, how much do you want to worry? Do you know what I mean? It looks like Leeds and Leicester are going to need 8 points to overhaul us. Well, you can't get 8 points. You can't. You need to get 9. So they need to win all their 3 games, and they've got tough games. They both play, but anyway, whatever. At some point, you've got to let yourself go and let yourself believe. And now's my time. And I think I do now. I think relieved of the shackles. I think there's no pressure on anyone at the club, and I even mean David Moyes there. I think if David Moyes wins, he keeps his job anyway. And I think even if David Moyes did get let go at the end of the season, he could probably do so with his head held high without worrying that he's taken West Ham down or anything like that. And I just think there's no pressure on anyone. I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to win 3-0 in this league.
3-0?
Yeah, 3-0 and Areola in goal, for goodness sake.
Crikey.
What's French for crikey?
I'm not sure. Le Criquet.
Okay, it's a good game.
I am strongly optimistic or timidly confident, whichever one you want to call it. I'm in between the two. I feel good, but it is the fear of the unknown for me. And it's just, I worry more about Alkmaar than I do about any other team that we faced so far in this competition. But saying that, I'm going to apply the same thing that I do when we play Man City or when we play Man U, Liverpool, and I always say if they turn up and all their players play 10 out of 10, they get their tactics right, they win the game because they've got better players. It's as simple as that sometimes. And I think I have to apply that to West Ham. That is, if Moyes gets the tactics right and the players turn up with the right attitude and play to the best of their ability, we will win because we have better players. And I know it's not that simple in football, etc. I get it, but by and large, usually that will happen. That is why tonight there's a Champions League semi-final between Manchester City and Real Madrid. Two of the best players, two of the best teams in the competition have got to the semi-finals of the Champions League. It's no surprise. They have the best teams in the tournament. I'm going to say, I don't think it'll be 3-0. I think Moyes will be cautious. It'll be interesting to see how Moyes approaches this one, because if this was an away game, I'd very confidently sit here and predict a draw, which is we'll take it back to our place and we'll get the job done. Sure. But because we're at home first, that probably helps Alkmaar more than us, because a draw for them is a really good result on Thursday. Take it back to the Netherlands and let's have it. Whereas with us, it's a bit more, is a draw good enough for us? It was good enough against Lyon and went over to France and done the business in their backyard. So will Moyes have that approach, which is make sure we're in with a really good chance by the second leg? I'm not sure. The fact of the matter is, in the quarterfinal, they lost 2-0 against Anderlecht, who we dispatched pretty comfortably. And you've got to take that into consideration as well. So I'm going to say, I'm going to say 2-0, Gonzo. I'm going to go 2-0. I think we'll win, but I'm just not sure on the scoreline. So I'll say West Ham 2, Alkmaar 0. There you go. Anything else you'd like to add, or shall we wrap it up there, my friend?
No, I'm looking forward to. I'm going to watch that game tonight. Now you mentioned it, I didn't know it was on tonight. I didn't know that was ties happening. I'm going to watch that. There you go. Something to look forward to.
Yeah, that's another European tournament.
That's the lesser semi. That's the lesser semi. That's not as great as our semi.
That's the blue pill semi. It's not quite as good.
It is. Ours is the real
Same
one.
Thing, just not quite as good. A bit artificial, yeah.
It is, yeah.
A bit plastic. You don't want one of them. Anyway, if you've somehow enjoyed this preview, please do drop a like on it, subscribe to Hammer's Chat, and like I said, in the description below in the pinned comments, you get your tickets to the boats on Thursday for the home leg, and your tickets to the fan park for the away leg next Thursday. Check them both out. Links and all the stuff you need is below the video. Myself and Gonzo, catch up with you in a bit.